Today we're going hands-on with the Sartory Billard SB04-E, Ruby Platinum, and Tantalum Hand-Engraved. Now these are watches that need to be experienced live, and we have them here in the office. Before we get going, and in full transparency, Collective is an authorized retailer of Sartory Billard watches. You can find the SB04-E collection along with a wide range of independent watches like this, and this, and this at collectivehorology.com. All right, we are hands-on with the SB04-E. We've got the Ruby Platinum here, and we will show you the Tantalum Hand-Engraved next. But starting with this watch, of course, its name is derived from the ruby, that solid piece of ruby at the center of the dial, and then platinum comes from the platinum plating on the outer portion of the dial. Let's start with the ruby itself. Like I said, this is a solid piece of ruby, and what you can see as the light catches it there is there's some beautiful graining in each piece of ruby that really just gives it so much soul. So you get the depth of the ruby itself, and then you get the graining, and it just creates a lot of drama and frankly romance. It really warms up the look of this watch. Moving beyond the ruby at the center of the dial, of course, you've got that platinum plated outer dial, which is finished with a sunray fume finish, and that contrast is really quite stunning, and it really works to have an exercise in the contrast between the soulfulness of the ruby at the center of the dial and then that very clean monochromatic finish outboard there. Now, finishing out the dial here, the dial furniture, the indices here are diamond cut. And they are immaculately finished. They really catch the light the way the rest of the dial does. And then the minute track and then every other index there, so at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and so on, those are luminous. So you've got lume not only on the dial, but then on the hour and the minute hands as well. Speaking of lume, there's a couple of other features we just really love about this case. And one of them is sort of hidden in plain sight. That crown there is itself luminous. So you've got a Sartory Billard signed crown that's luminous. Now, even during the daytime when this thing isn't glowing, what you'll notice there is that lume really matches and complements that white strap quite nicely. Kind of maybe a happy accident, maybe intentional. Additionally, where the lugs meet the case on this watch, there's some channels in there, sort of these scalloped channels that, again, just break up the case nicely and add to the romance and the drama of the watch overall. So just a nicely refined case. Speaking of a refined case, the dimensions are quite refined. So this is, of course, a 39.5 millimeter watch in diameter, a nice thin 10.3 millimeters in height, and a 46 millimeter lug to lug, making this watch really quite wearable on almost any wrist size. Moving on to the Tantalum Hand-Engraved, likewise named for the dial. Of course, this dial is made of tantalum. At the heart of the dial, of course, there you've got a solid bit of tantalum. And in what would otherwise be a very monochromatic watch, what's interesting is the finishing at the center of the dial. So this is a hand-hammered finish, which gives it this beautiful sort of feathered appearance there. And that is done and hand-hammered by Armand Billard himself. So the hand of the creator touching each one of these watches, which adds to their romance. And frankly, this is a watch that would otherwise be quite monochromatic, but that hand-hammered and hand-finished effect gives each one of these dials the same kind of soul and drama you get from the Ruby Platinum, but just in a different package. Now, the outer dial itself is also made out of solid tantalum, and it is likewise finished with a sunray and fume effect. So a very different take on a similar dial, this one being a little bit more monochromatic, but no less soulful in its own way. Of course, same case dimensions, also got the lume on the crown. Now, we should mention these watches both ship on rubber straps. So in the case of the Tantalum Hand-Engraved here, you've got an orange deluxe rubber strap that's curved there at the end. The Ruby Platinum comes with a white rubber strap. And each one of these watches also includes a voucher for an additional strap you can order from Deluxe. When you get your watch, go on the Deluxe website and you can order any other strap you'd like to complement this, which is a great way of including the benefit of a second strap, but also giving you the option to really pick the thing that suits the watch best and suits your taste best. One interesting question we've gotten about these watches, and it's really about the Tantalum Hand-Engraved in particular, is weight. Tantalum is a notoriously heavy metal, and so the question has been, is this watch heavier? Well, I can tell you the Ruby Platinum weighs in at 93 grams, exactly what you would expect for a 39.5 millimeter stainless steel watch on a rubber strap, and the tantalum dialed watch weighs in just 5 grams more at 98.3 grams. So while the dials themselves, if you just sort of picked them up on their own or in a vacuum, you would certainly notice that the tantalum is heavier. On the wrist and in everyday use, the Tantalum Hand-Engraved is going to wear and feel just like any other stainless steel watch of these proportions. So that is it, the Tantalum Hand-Engraved and the Ruby Platinum hands-on. The SB04E collection is available at collectivehorology.com. Get in touch or comment below with your thoughts and questions, and while you're at it, subscribe to stay up to date on all things independent watches. Thanks for watching.